Debt management, especially during this COVID period. Issues of you're owing your landlord, you're owing car debt, car loans, you're owing the wigs, you're paying, these are things that compile together and make people frustrated, especially in this period. How best can we organize our debts and pay for them?
Okay, so first of all, I think that the first thing that people need to look at is their debt to income ratio. So, for example, if you earn 100,000 naira and you owe 50,000 naira, then your debt to income ratio is 0.5. It's usually recommended that you keep your debt to income ratio to 0.35, right? Because you want to keep it manageable. And I think that this usually starts the problem. When we have a money issue, we instantly think about, who can I borrow from or who can I collect from, without necessarily thinking about, okay, how much do I earn now? And in the worst case scenario, what can my income support in terms of debt repayment? So we usually get it wrong and we're over leveraged from the beginning. So it now becomes a headache when something like COVID happens, right? But obviously we live in Africa, so it's hard. People want to borrow money or take capital from where they can get it when they're running businesses. It happens. But I think that the best thing is also to look at the behaviors and decisions and thinking that got you into debt in the first place.
I just found out about Arese and about the income debt ratio, but I already have so many bad debts and I'm trying to get out of it. What is the first thing that I should do to, get out of it and then, make better financial decisions?
So the first thing is a debt repayment plan. And, because I coach a lot of people on their personal finances, and usually when I first tell them, you need a debt repayment plan, they're like, Arese, are you joking? Please, this is not economics as in theory, right? This is my real life. How am I going to get the money to pay the debt? But the thing is, a debt repayment plan gives you clarity around where you are right now. So it helps you take stock of all the debts that you have and prioritize them. Which one has the highest interest, or which one is on my neck? Maybe your landlord is calling you and stressing you. Do you have to pay that first, or do you have to pay the bank loan first because it has a higher interest? And if you leave it for longer, it will become more expensive. So just putting down all the debts that you have, not calculating it in your head, actually seeing it on a spreadsheet, putting the interest of how much it costs to cover that debt and how long it will take you to pay it. And it's important for us to not avoid, for us to really confront the debt and then start to have conversations with the people that we're owing to say, listen, this is how I can manageably pay you. It's not going to be an easy conversation. They're not going to be like, oh yes, it's fine, pay when you like. But debt repayment is not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to stress you.
Within the COVID, many people have lost like the 30% or 50% of their income. How can they, still being within COVID, adjust to the reality of most of what I have in my house is I'm paying for it in installments, and now I don't have the money to continue payment. What can I do?
Well, maybe returning it is part of what you have to do. So I think it depends on your particular situation. But this is what I mean when I say that people need to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt, because consumer debt is part of bad debt. So I'm not saying don't take consumer debt at all, but you need to take it knowing what your income can support, even in the worst case scenario. So you can't take debt to buy a TV. You can't take debt to buy, a fridge. These are not good habits, right? You wait till you can afford the fridge before you buy it, as opposed to taking debt, because you have to ask yourself, if I take debt to buy a TV, does the TV produce an income for me? No, it does not.
Now, Arese, we want to make money. We want to make extra income, where many of us, obviously, our salaries have been slashed. And we're thinking, what are the opportunities out there during this period? What can we look into to get some extra money? Do you have any advice for us?
Well, we're all trying to figure it out. Different problems are being highlighted because of COVID, but different opportunities are also arising. And I think it's about figuring out, like in Nigeria, we had just slowly started getting used to buying things online, but it hadn't really taken the way it had taken, in other countries. But with COVID, everybody's locked in their house. Nobody can go anywhere. So if you want to buy anything, you actually don't have a choice. You have to find ways to buy it online. So it's changed in that way. And I see that as an opportunity for many small businesses to reduce their costs now that they can service their customers directly from their website or their Instagram page.
Right.
So it's about looking for those opportunities and seeing what has changed and how can I plug into what has changed.